So at 17, you go to college.
Yes.
Did you know at that time or think about that time that you wanted to be a school teacher or?
That was always my ambition. My ambition from early childhood was to be a teacher.
Yeah?
I graduated from junior college at age 19, and one day the dean called me in and he said, there's a position open for a teacher at the mission school in the Rio Grande Valley. Would you like to go there? And of course I was delighted. My ambition had been to be a missionary and a teacher. So when I went to San Juan, Texas to teach school there, that's what I did. I was totally green. I had not had one education course. I had not prepared myself in any way to be a school teacher. I just had the ambition and I guess the audacity to think I could do it. And I was teaching children whose initial language was Spanish. And so many of those children had no English, but somehow or another I had first and second grade. I was able to teach them and did a fairly good job.
What was the school like? Was it a sort of?
It was a little one-room school. I had first and second grade, and Martha Yerian, the other teacher, had third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth grades. And I must have had maybe 20 students or something like that. And she may have had that many also. It was not large.
Well, 20 is a fair amount, especially if you've never taught.
Well, they were well behaved. Actually, those were the easiest days discipline-wise that I ever had teaching because they really wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And those children had walked to school. There were no school buses. They came from the country areas and they walked. Sometimes Martha and I would walk out into the country and visit their homes. And they had a nice little hike before they even got to school, so they'd run off quite a bit of energy.
That was a good thing then. So how long did you do that?
I did that for 2 years.
2 years. So now you're 21.
I was 21. I met Leslie the first year I taught. I met him when I was, I guess, on summer break in Welcome.
Right, your dad
And he
now
was
minister
on
in
leave
Welcome.
from the Navy, and my father introduced us. But I was career bound. I was not interested in young men, so we just said hello, and that was it.
Yeah.
But somehow, after a while, we developed a relationship and became good friends, and when I was 21, we married. We moved to Seguin, Texas, where Leslie was going to college. He had had 1 year of college, and he was really gung-ho to get married, but all the professors that he talked to, and he asked for everybody's advice, was don't marry until you finish school. Well, that would have been 6 or 7 years, so we decided that that was just not feasible, and so we married anyway.
So what were you doing while he was in school then, those first
I had jobs at the college. I was a kind of a secretary, of which I am a horrible secretary. I kept getting moved from job to job because I was so bad. And then
What was throwing you off, the phone or the filing or
I'm
typing?
just not a good typist. I don't have much patience for it or skill. And also, the first year I worked in offices. The second year, we decided that that was a waste of time, that I should go to college, and the college became a 4-year college.
Mm-hmm.
So Leslie, we went to summer school in San Marcos, and I had been going to summer school every summer to get my, eventually graduate and get a teacher's license that it was, with a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
The second year we lived in Seguin, we decided that I would go to college and graduate, and Les would graduate. So between the two of us, we made it, and we graduated in 1949. And I was 7 months pregnant at the time I graduated with Marie. I also did my practice teaching that year, And because I had a teacher's license, I was able to teach for a week, substitute for a week for a teacher in the public schools in Seguin.
Yeah.
And I had no supervision of any kind. They just let me teach, and that was my student teaching.
So when you were pregnant in college, was that unusual in that day, or was that?
Of course it was unusual. Yeah, well, we were one of the few married couples. There were just a few. There was at least one other fella that had been in the service who also was married, but we were one of the few married people. At that year, Leslie had been elected to be the president of the student body, and they were not very happy with the fact that he was not living on campus. You know, he was not too involved with the students. He was more involved with our marriage and our home.
But he got elected by the students.
He got elected by the students, and he was president for a year, and then they made a rule you had to live on campus in order to be president. We also lived in a small apartment which was off campus, and so we walked a couple of blocks to get to school. And in order to get groceries and do the laundry, Les bought a bicycle. So he would put the laundry on the handlebars and go down to the laundromat and wash. And then he would also do that with the groceries.
Yeah.
So we managed without a car for 7 years.
For 7 years?
7 years.